What's going on, guys? So today I want to do like a let's talk video. RC. Today I have my 2011 Arrma Vortex, and I'm a huge fan, guys. I'm a huge fan of Arrma, and I'm a huge fan of Arrma's first lineup of cars. I think that it was very bold of them to come in to the industry, diving in how they did head first. I mean, they didn't dip their toe. They went right in, came in with twin vertical chassis design and twin vertical plate chassis design. And it was very bold. It's not easy to, have to all correspond to each other, so to speak, and, intertwine kind of parts and such. And I think Arrma did a terrific job at that. And, they really, they had little minor, things that they had to work out. But with such a bold design, you got to expect that. Basically, what I did recently to this vehicle here is I found a 2014, a while back, 2014 battery box / chassis. And I wanted to replace the original, like I did on my Arrma Raider. With the Raider, I swapped out the stock. Here's an original battery box / chassis, and I wanted to replace that, of course, with the new stuff, because the original, the original stock battery box / chassis that it came with had it was just limited. Real quick, shout out to Hot Racing and SDRC for creating excellent aluminum hop-ups for these older vehicles and current vehicles. They do a good job. The battery box, this 2014, is now a one-piece, whereas the original stock was a two-piece. So it would be like this, right? You had your servo box and your battery box as a two-piece design, with the twin verticals sandwiching on both sides, holding everything together. Now, that was nothing wrong with that design, really cool. But like I said, the box was limited with the size of lipos it could accommodate. And this here was an atrocity. I mean, it's functional, this thing, and it works. It just works. I don't know how to but the design was terrible. It has this side clam design, but once you put this thing together, right? Once you got everything in and the servo's in and it's mounted and everything's on there, what happens is it's a nightmare to get to your servo. You have to take apart the whole front end. It was 25 screws or something, and you got to take apart the whole front end just to get to the servo, or your servo horn, or anything for that matter. So, with the original servo that came with these vehicles, they were really flimsy, and therefore they broke in a heartbeat. So when that happened, I got my first taste of dealing with this servo box, and man, oh man, it was it was a no-brainer to have to redo that. So Arrma did do that. They did a great job. In 2013, they made a bunch of their hop-ups. That includes the shock towers, the rear shock towers. Those were a mess. And the original vehicles, those were a mess. You had these were the originals. And if you could see here, as opposed to the beef on here, much beefier, this thing here has no beef, and therefore you could see it cracks. You'll get a hairline crack in this thing over and over again. So Arrma fixed that. They beefed up this area, solved the whole issue with that. Then there was the shock tower itself, and the original shock tower, as you can see, I don't know if you can see here, this one's slightly bent. See how it's slightly bent, this one's not so bad. I had ones that looked like, forget it, how bad they looked. And I would bend them back and all of that. But Arrma eventually made their own aluminum hop-ups. But this particular vehicle has SDRC and some hot racing hubs in there. And, some more SDRC bulkhead and, like hinge pin holder and whatnot. So then you have, like, you can see that receiver box in there. And the receiver box is the 2013 model, and it's a lot better. Here's the original receiver box. And if you can see the size comparison, I mean, I don't know what Arrma was thinking. When it came to that, I really don't know what they were thinking. I mean, this thing could fit the ESC in here. You know what I mean? Like, seriously. So, I don't know what they were thinking, but just this had to be replaced, and they replaced it with that. Much better. Much, much better. That was another fine replacement. And yeah, guys, so this here has, not for nothing, man, these vehicles was strong. And the only thing, I mean, I put heavy duty hinge pins on all the hinge pins there, replaced and put the heavy duties, got rid of the E-clips. E-clips are just not fun to work with, they suck. So I got rid of those, put those. But this is an original front end and original rear end, guys. And this thing's been ran. Right now it's clean as a whistle. I cleaned the shit out of it when I took it apart. But this thing was ran, dude. Like, it still has original A-arms. Like, everything's original as far as the rear end and the front end, man. Original shocks. These shocks are awesome. I must say, I was going to replace them. I had every intention to replace them. But they're too awesome to do that. So it was unnecessary. I mean, the only thing I did to these shocks was